What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Perfection Unfolding with me, your host, Cara G. Um, if you're watching on YouTube, my favorite way of viewing the show, you will see that I am in another place. Who would have thunk it? I'm just in my traveling era. Sue me, okay? Um, I'm not going to disclose to you where I am right now because that would be giving away my location, and that is a big no-no when you are a woman traveling. So, but just know I am not at my house. I am traveling abroad. Just kidding. I'm stateside somewhere. I'll tell you soon enough, you curious little kittens. But welcome to the show. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a tried and true listener, you know I love you. Um, Welcome to Perfection Unfolding. This is a show where we just get to be, we get to hang out, we get to talk about the woo-woo stuff, the self-development stuff, the holistic health stuff. Um, Lots of reflections, lots of vulnerable stories where we just get into it. I provide my perspective, and my hope is that it helps. That's all I got. I just hope that it helps. Um, this week I think I've got a really juicy episode for you because I have just tapped into recently the I'm just who I am. I haven't been pretending like I'm anybody else, but I think I'm just ready to just go there with you. I think I'm ready to go there. And there being more of my woo-woo side, more of my spiritual girly vibes. Like I've definitely hinted I've definitely given you like a spiritual, episode before and talked about some woo topics, but recently I just have been feeling more connected to that part of me. It's a part of me that feels like it needs to like come out. It's a part of me that I feel like maybe others need. I kind of did that with the Aura Alchemy event where, we're manifesting, we're releasing. I mean, that's just basic law of attraction and basic energy clearing, but that's woo woo. And you know what? I think I'm just finally ready and excited. I'm excited to share and embrace and embody this part of who I am. And so if you're into that, stick around. Stick around. I mean, if you are have been listening, I do have some new subscribers, so welcome new subscribers. Full transparency, I like kind of promoted two of my shorts the last week or so. Some of my best performing shorts just to see what would happen, and we got some new subscribers. So if you're new to this, guys, you can go back and watch the lore, or you can start from right here, right now. Um, we're gonna have some fun. I'm excited. So, with that being said, let's get into. I have a couple life updates, one of which I just shared. Um, a check-in from 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, I shared my video on my 2020 self-care routine, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not been perfect at it. The show is not about being perfect, it's about allowing yourself to be what you are, right? And which is you are perfection already. You don't have to achieve perfection, you just are. But because we're human and because we have egos, you know, I guess we can be imperfect, whatever, boo. So I haven't been doing that perfectly. I've been showing up to that every single day the way that I would have liked. But with that being said, it's been 2 weeks and I've kind of been showing up for it every other day. And for those of you who are new, my 2020 self-care regimen, if you will, is every morning, the first 60 minutes of your day, you dedicate to you. And it's 20 minutes reading or 20 minutes learning, 20 minutes journaling, 20 minutes sweating. I tend to do the journaling first and then the reading or the learning and then the sweating. I have not been sweating as much, ugh, but I have been reading and I have been doing my schoolwork. So, and in 2 weeks, I already feel more like myself. I feel more grounded. I feel more grounded now. It took me 2 weeks of like on again, off again doing this self-care routine to ground myself when I couldn't even figure that out for 3 whole months in a whole over the course of a whole summer because I wasn't using any tools. So, that's just my experience with this, go back and watch that video if you're curious, like, or want some more detail about that. So, yeah, so 2 weeks of this, and look at me. I'm like fully embodying who I actually am. I'm ready to show up for this podcast. I'm excited. Even though it was late when I started writing my notes for the show, just typing out what I'm about to talk about it's got me going. It's got me feeling like, whoa. It's got me just fully accepting who I am, what I'm about. The fact that I'm in this random house, you have no idea where I'm at. And I'm just like, fuck it, we're gonna make a show. We're gonna make a pod. We're gonna make an episode because this is the vibe. So some other updates. I am gonna switch to a bi-weekly show. So I know, heartbreaking. I'm gonna do I've decided that like what I need personally, and with you in mind, you know, you listening to this, I feel like I'm gonna give you a better show if I can do it every other week. Because if I'm being honest, um, there's a lot going on in my life. Obviously, last week's show, crashing out. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of just like it's about to be fall, it's about to be winter, and energetically speaking, like I do operate with the seasons. Most of us do, whether we like it or not. But as it gets colder, like the work is supposed to slow down. Like you don't harvest as much, right? You kind of like settle in, you bundle up, you slow down, you rest, you rejuvenate. And I don't want to necessarily stop the show entirely because that would be crazy. I feel like we're just getting started. Like we're heating up, bro. Um, like we got new subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's exciting. Like there's a lot going on. But energetically speaking, like I need to slow down and I can feel that and I'm listening to my intuition and because I want my intuition to keep showing up and to keep talking to me, I need to listen to it. I need to respect it and honor it. And so we're going to switch to every other Tuesday. Um so that the quality of the show is just like it just is better. Um, and I'm better. And now that I'm reading again and I'm also taking a social media break, like I'm just kind of doing it all. I'm going full hermit mode because I feel like myself. Like another update I have is like I could start to tell that social media was making me sad girl and it was making me judgmental. And by making me, like I was allowing it to. And so with this 2020 and with a little bit of traveling that I'm doing, um yeah, I just cannot afford to be on the socials like I usually am, just like mindlessly scrolling because it's making me sad, girl. And I just ugh. So if you're feeling called, if your intuition's screaming at you to like reel it in, let this be your sign because I already feel better. And I haven't been perfect at that either. Like I have kind of I've been doing the thing where I uninstall Instagram from my phone. And then I'll kinda, like, cheat by logging in my browser and just kinda, like, swiping a little bit, and then I'm like, "Shame," and then I log out, and then do something else, but that's kind of how I've been dealing with it, um, but to each their own, right? Like, we're all on a journey, we're all doing our own thing, figuring it out. So that is some housekeeping stuff, um, and then the last thing, I've been reading more because of my 20 self-care routine. And I started reading for the first time Dolores Cannon's Convoluted Universe, which I bought this book like I think it's book 4, but I bought this book, funny story, uh, basically off Instagram. I follow this I follow this uh hypnosis practitioner. He does past life regressions on Instagram. And he had this post where he was like, test your psychic abilities, right? Or your intuition. And he was like it was 7 images, it was a carousel, and it said pick a number. The first carousel image said pick a number between 1 and 7, or pick a number between 1 and 7. And I intuitively picked 3 numbers. I picked 3, 5, and 6. No idea why. That's just like what my intuition and my mind said. And throughout the carousels, it was like these are the books that you need to read, and it showed carousel 1, 2, 3, all the way through 7. And I had read all the other books, but the 3 books I hadn't read were Carousel 3, 5, and 6. And on one of those carousel things was Dolores Cannon's Convoluted Universe, book 4 specifically, because these are books that he said he read that helped him learn how to channel, how to like help people, how to channel, and also how to help people do past life regressions. And this just goes into like my woo-woo vibe. Like I am just curious in this way, and I bought this book easily a year ago. Easily. It's just been sitting on my bookshelf, unlooked up. Haven't even read what it's about. I haven't even Googled Dolores Cannon, but I started reading it, and guess what it is? It's a book where she does past life regressions and she channels. Which makes a lot of sense. Should have put that together. And I'm reading it and I'm just like, this shit is awesome. Like, and part of me, and we'll get into this in a second, part of me is like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe like I feel called to this and I don't know why. Um, and I want to do a past life regression. Like I want to hit that guy up and be like, yo, what are my other lives? And an interesting thing that came up while I was reading the book, a little spiritual thing, because kind of this whole episode is about spiritual truths, right? But one of the things that popped in my mind was like, maybe I've lived such like a privileged kind of cushy life because I was meant to like kind of learn all of these life lessons really quickly so that I could help people sooner. Anyway, that's just something I've been kind of like thinking about for the last since I started reading the book. Like that's what's been coming up for me, and I'm like, whoa, interesting. Because I haven't really lived that hard of a life. Like I've got my own issues, but like compared to other people, compared to the history of the world, I have lived a cushiony ass motherfucking life. So with that, I want to get into three spiritual truths that can change your life about love. Three spiritual truths about love that can change your life. Um, this topic popped into my mind because left and right, since I stopped being on social media so much, since I've started doing my self-care routine, since I've started tapping more in and journaling more and being one with myself again, which journaling for me a lot of times looks like me talking to my higher self, me talking to God, me talking to source, them answering my questions. I'm like I'm in conversation with my with my guardian angel. Like I just every time I take time for myself, I'm tapped back in. I'm tapped back into my tether, back into like who I am, the truth of who I am. And this theme of love has been coming up over and over and over again to the point where it's so in my face. I've been thinking about what do I want to talk about this week? It's so in my face that I just watched Mrs. Doubtfire, okay, with Robin Williams. Like I was watching it earlier today, and it's just this beautiful story about a father and the love he has for his children. And just how you can be such a fuck up and love will just it'll just heal it all. It'll just heal it all. And so I was thinking and I was just like, this is what I want to bring to the table. I want to bring some of the truths that I've learned about love throughout throughout my journey, over the course of my lifetime, more recently over the course of the last decade, because there are things I wish I could have and would have known sooner, you know? There are things that had I known them sooner, it would have changed the trajectory of my life. But what's funny is that things come to you when you need them. Things come to you when you're ready to receive them. And so with that, I offer that to you when hearing these truths, if and checking in with yourself. Before I get into it, I want you to check in with yourself and decide now if you are going to be open to them, to these truths, if you're in a space of curiosity, or if you're in a space of closed offness and you're like, nah, this isn't for me. I'm not ready to receive. And you can decide that as I talk through all this stuff, right? But just know, like, everything comes back down to you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't, right? So I know this is going to be a little bit woo woo, and I want to preface all of this with like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but also know like, these are my truths. This is what helped change my life. And I think if it resonates, it has the potential and the power to do the same for you. This is my belief. I believe it. That's what's true for me. What's true for you could be something totally different. But in the spirit of curiosity, why not listen and check it out? Just because. Right? If you're into me, you're probably a curious girly, a curious person, who's just like, well, why not take in more information just to do the head math and just, mull it over a little bit to see if it fits. I love trying on ideas and seeing if they fit. That's like my favorite thing to do. I change my mind constantly. Like I'm never just like, this is the way. But I'm going to kind of contradict that in this episode because these are truths that I feel are universal, based off everything I've read, based off everything I've experienced myself. And I'm going to get into that now. So the first question you're probably going to ask yourself is like, who are you to be like talking about universal truths about love? And also, who are you to think that's going to change my life? And to that I say, I'm not special. Okay? I've always said I'm not special. I am no special or unspecial as any other person in the world. And at the same time, I am as special as they come because you are as special as they come. We are one of one, okay? And it is my belief that we are a piece of the universal puzzle, a piece of God shattered into an infinite amount of fractals, right? I believe that when I put in my notes, I'll just kind of read to you what I was kind of thinking, but I said I'm not special, and at the same time I'm as special as they come because so are you. We are all a piece of the puzzle. Along my journey, I've read many books speaking about the so-called woo-woo topics, exploring the meaning of life, who and what God is, so on and so forth. And along the way, I've come to accept the truth of what and who I am. Some things I've never claimed with my full chest, as I spoke about earlier, because I feared being judged for it. But I'm now ready to accept and name it and claim it for what it is and for who I am. Some of these things, I'm gonna say them now, and I'm like, I'm so nervous because you are getting a little peek of like an intimate peek into my life and into my process. But I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna say it now. Like I believe that I'm claircognizant, and clairaudient. I think those are my two main clairs. This meaning clear knowing and clear hearing, right? There's like four main clairs, right? You might have heard like clairvoyant. I'm a clairvoyant, which clairvoyant is clear seeing. Those are the people who can like see ghosts, they can see energy, they can see things shift. I can't see anything. I think God, source, creator, universe knew that if I was clairvoyant, I would be shitting my pants all the time. I'd be like, no thanks, no thanks, I'm scared. So instead, I believe I'm claircognizant, which is clear knowing. It's where I just when I hear something or when I read something or or even when nothing's been said, I just know it to be true or I just know that something is. Like, think of like your intuition. What is your intuition if not just clear knowing? And the more you practice listening to your intuition, the more clear the messages that come through. And they call it women's intuition. I feel like women are more adept at clear cognizance. Like they just kind of be knowing shit. And you can call it pattern recognition, you can call it whatever you want, but it's like I just have this clear knowing. So some of the books I've read that talk about, you know, uh everything is everything. God is everything and we are of God God is creator, God is source, God is all that is. God is the name we give it, but you can call it whatever you want. It is the wholeness of everything and we are a fractal of that. When I read that, I know it to be true. When they say when they say you know, God is love, creator is love, and love is all that is. I read that and I know that to be true. Take that for what you will, but I am a claircognizant person. I claim it, I feel it, I know it, I cannot explain it, but it is true. It is true for me, and it is true objectively in my mind. Again, if it resonates, cool. If it doesn't, you can think I'm some kind of weirdo phony all you want. That's your business. And I believe I'm clairaudient. So like um it's clear hearing. Like I'm always getting like there's always a song in my head. I can hear messages in my mind. Like when I'm journaling, when I say I'm talking to my higher self, it's like I can hear the message in my head. I mean, and again, like deniers or non-believers could be like, "Oh, well, you're insane," or "You made that up." And I'm like, to that I say, yeah, okay. You could think that, but my experience feels different. My experience I mean, hell, I went to like a haunted house once and like something came up and whispered in my ear, you know? I couldn't see it, but they were like and it freaked me out and I knew that it was a spirit. I couldn't see it. I had no reason to it but to think that, but I just knew it in my head. Things are just popping up in my head all the time and I brush them off as just like, "Oh, like it's just something I saw," or "Oh, this," or "Oh, that." But the more I accept that it's my intuition and the more I accept that it's my claircognizance, the more messages come through, like, the more sharp my intuition becomes, like, the less guessing and checking I have to do, and I have that experience. So when you ask, like, "Who are you to, like, be speaking about these truths?" I just be knowing shit, and I think I'm ready to claim that. I am ready to claim it. I do claim it. It is. So, yeah. So those are, like, the 2 things that I'm the strongest clairs that I have. There's also other clairs. There's like clairvoyance is clear seeing, clairaudience is clear hearing, claircognizance is clear knowing, clairsentience is clear feeling. So it's like, you know, bodily, like you could feel it, like the sensation. And then there's some other like non popular clairs, like uh clairalience, which is clear smelling. I think I have clairalience too. I'm not gonna lie to you because I can like smell memories. I can smell I can smell things through my phone? Maybe my brain is just making shit up, I don't know, but, like, sometimes I can smell smoke and I can smell, like, dirty diapers? I don't know, and I'm still kinda working on that one because it's a little bit weirder, but yeah, and then there's, clairaudiency, which is clear touching, I guess that's the bodily. Um, so if any of these resonate with you, like, maybe you have claircognizance, maybe you have clairaudience, like, for me, I'm a vocal processor and I can literally out loud, I will be speaking for me and then I'll ask a question and I will be answered. I'm still talking, but I will be answered and but the answer will be coming out of my mouth, but I know it's not for me. It's from like my grandma or like, you know, God or whoever. Like, I just know that to be true. And that's just me. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Um, I wrote in here, these are 2 of the 7 most common clairs. Like, I also it's like a psychic ability, like, clairs are having a psychic ability. And so I say, when I say psychic, I know that that word probably triggers fear or doubt, um, in you, but that fear and doubt has been conditioned in you through culture, society, and, like, religion. Like, did you come up with that fear or doubt? Or were you just told that that was the devil, that that was a demon, and that's witchcraft? I feel like you wouldn't have come up with that by yourself. But that's just me. That's just me. And don't get me wrong, I've been doing a lot of deconditioning from that stuff, and I've kind of done majority of that. Um, so that's why it's easier for me to claim it now. Like whereas you could have a lot of fear and a lot of doubt in yourself, and that's what keeps you blocked. And that's okay. Like it's a journey for everybody. Um, I go on to say we all have psychic abilities, whether you think you do or not. Like I believe that humans that we have telepathic abilities. Like, oh, the kitty's here. Hey, Mimi. I just saw her in the corner of my eye. I'm cat sitting. She's a black cat. She's a cutie girl. And maybe she'll come say hi. Um, I say we all have psychic abilities, whether you think you do or not. Like you have the potential to develop these psychic abilities. I think all of us can have all of them, if I'm being totally real with you, but it just depends on which ones you practice and which ones you hone and strengthen. Um, I'm trying to be telepathic. Cause think about it, like my mom and dad have psychic abilities with each other. Like they will call each other at the same time. Like I have psychic patterns I have with all the people that I'm really close to. Like call it a tether, call it a connection, call it a soul tie, call it whatever you want, but like that's telepathy. And there's even science that backs this up in quantum physics. So call it woo woo, but that's on you. So anyway, we all have psychic abilities. The only difference between me and someone who doesn't have psychic abilities is that I'm open to learning and strengthening mine. What do you think intuition is if not tapping into your own claircognizance or your clear knowing? Mine has been subtle at times and very clear and undeniable at other times. I think now I'm open to owning it, trusting it, and practicing it so that my abilities can get stronger. So that's that on that. I also kind of went in and was like, um, talk about certain books that I've read. So I'm like very knowledgeable about these things, and I can't even begin to tell you how many podcasts and books and interviews and shit that I've come across and I've ingested, and all of them say the same thing. And so I'm going to share with you the things that are the through line. So you don't have to do any of that work yourself. Just trust me. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. um and again, knowing all the stuff about me, now that I told you I'm claircognizant and clairaudient, you could be totally shut down, but again, you can either accept this and move forward in this with curiosity, or you can deny it and just kind of turn this off right now and just decide it's not for you. The choice is yours. We have free will. You could think I'm phony with smoke up my ass, or you could think I have all the answers. The truth is, I am neither. You are the thermometer of what you accept into your mind. If it resonates with you, if what I'm saying resonates, what I'm describing to you, I encourage you to follow your instincts. Anything rooted in love, um, that's resonant in love, is here to guide you home. That's my belief. Home being guiding you back to connection, guiding you back to what you really are, which we'll get into. And then this message and every message I have moving forward will find who it's for when they are ready to receive it, which is anything. Like, you can only receive things when you're ready for them, you know? So, with that foundation laid, let me share with you 3 spiritual truths about love I've come to know in my body as universal truth that I wish I knew sooner, so that maybe it can change your life too. Okay? 27 minutes in. That's not too shabby. Gotta love an intro. Number 1. The number 1 truth about love that I've learned is you are love personified. What do I mean by this? By this, I mean you are made of everything that exists in its truest form. And what everything is in its truest form is love. Everything is made of love. Love is a creative energy. You are a creature of earth, made from love, made from that creative energy. You are a piece of the pie. When they say God is love in the Bible, which I'm not a religious person, but this is a good example because most of us, at least stateside, grew up with some kind of Christian, whether it was in the periphery of your existence or it was a part of your upbringing. The God is love thing was like drilled into your mind, right? That is a truth that I believe. I believe God, creator, spirit, whatever, is love. And if we were made in God's image, again, I'm using this verbiage so that it's easier to digest, then we are also love. Okay? We are love personified, which means we are love made manifest in human form. This means, right? Not only are you made of love, but everything is made of love. Everything is made in the vibration of love. What we do with that when we become humans is we sometimes forget that truth. I'm just going to spit a bunch of stuff at you and I'm going to say it as truth. And again, you get to accept it if it resonates and you get to leave it behind if it doesn't. But I believe love is all that exists. Okay? Now, the earth exists within this universe of love, right? And the earth is a dense place. And I believe as souls, we come here to experience the denseness, right? I believe as souls, we decide that we want to come to earth, forget that we're love, so that we can remember that we are love. And how do you remember what you are? By experiencing what you're not. Okay? So I believe you are love personified. And by this, I mean, like, it's the way we look at babies, it's the way we look at nature. It can't be anything but that. And that's what resonates with me. I think at our core, our greatest strength is love, I believe, because it's what we're made out of. Like, everything that we do that isn't in a love vibration is just us forgetting. It's just an absence of love, right? It's an absence of love, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I said everything is made of love. Love is all that exists, right? Everything. Like, we can't even wrap our head around the whole everything infinity being love, because like we can't even think about how big space and time is, because time's not even real. But I believe that love is all there is, that God is love, and if God is all that there is, if creator is all there is, then you are a piece of that, in which case you have all the power inside of you of love, of light, of bringing that love and light into the world. And I think that that is what we're here to remember, is that we are love personified, and now what are we going to do about that now that we've remembered, right? I say, like, another thing I love from the Bible, from church, that resonates with me. Again, not a religious person, but using this language because it's easier to digest. Whenever God says, I think it's God or Jesus, I don't know, but in the Bible it says, "I am the great I am." Okay, my favorite piece of this love, you are love personified thing, is like when you read the words "I am." My favorite thing to think about is like, who is I, if not me? I am points to self. The great I am points to universe. We are one and the same. And me and the universe equals me and you and you and you and you and you and you. We are the great I am. And we have no choice but to know and to live in the fact that we are love, because that's all that there is. That's all we could ever be as the universal truth, right? But again, we come to Earth, we forget what we are, we forget who we are, and that's where the trauma comes in. That's where the shadow comes in. That's where all of the gobbledygook comes in. But before we get to that, the shadow stuff, um, I said in here, when you embody and you know that you are love personified, that you are perfect. You are perfect love, which is the kind of the whole theme of this podcast, that you are perfection unfolding. You already are the love and light, but you're spending your experience for like remembering that that's true. It's unfolding before you. And as you come to know this about yourself, this changes your life in ways that you can't imagine. It brings peace. It brings belonging. It can bring purposefulness. There is nothing to do but to be when you just know what you are. There's no seeking. There's no reaching. There's no trying to prove yourself. There is no doing, right? There's being. And that is the most, like, peaceful thing you can come to realize. Like, you don't have to do anything or try so hard. You already are that. And once you settle into that and know it, my God, does your life open up in front of you. I said there is nothing to do but to be love, to share love, to embody love. The rat race isn't important. Suddenly taking care of yourself becomes easier because you're love. So just be that. Just love yourself. It's not hard. It's a skill you innately know in your DNA because it's what you're made out of. You were brought into this world through love. I mean, fucking yes, but there is a love energy there. Like when you are in the heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. um, Having compassion for yourself and others becomes second nature. You tap into the well of love that you are. It is a creative energy that, so long as you connect to it, it never runs out. Fear runs out, pride runs out, judgment runs out, because all those things deplete you. Those are energies that drain you. But love is the ultimate abundance. It will pour and pour and pour into you and out from you. It is the gift that keeps giving because it is what you are made of. You can create as much of it as you want because it is what you are. It's what you are best at when you choose it. You are love personified. Number one. And I'll go into more depth into this stuff if it's what you guys want, but I'm just giving you kind of the cliff notes, right? Number two, the second spiritual truth I've learned about love. It's a big one. And I want you to open your heart and I want you to open your mind and just be in a curious energy, okay? The opposite of love isn't evil. It isn't hate. It's fear. This is my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. Fear, in my opinion, was manufactured by man through our egos in order to control others. That sounds like a manly thing to do to me, doesn't it? Fear, I'm going to say that again. Fear, in my opinion, was manufactured by man in order to control you. Fear is the lack of love. Fear is the forgetting of love. And it is a forgetting of love that can look like evil and hatred, but at its core, it is a fear. Fear is the opposite of love. It is not good versus bad. It is love versus fear. And it's not because fear exists on its own, because love is all there is, right? This is the core universal belief that I have. If love is all there is, then fear is the forgetting that love is all there is. And when we're here on earth in this dense reality, remembering that we're love is the antidote to fear, right? I said fear is a lack of love, it's a forgetting of love. The love versus evil binary, in my opinion, is the matrix that everyone speaks about. Any binary is the matrix invented by our human egos. Because, and I say this, I say it's love versus evil or good versus evil is the game we play to keep ourselves stuck in the forgetting. When you recognize that all there is love, you transcend the matrix. The binary, you transcend the matrix, you transcend the binary, and can live a lighter and more positive life because you get to just be love, okay? I say in here, to be fearful is a choice. To be scared is an illusion. To be love and light is to return to your truest form. It is to surrender, right? It is to surrender. Because what are we doing when we're scared? We're fearing a future that doesn't exist. And you know what? You could be in the present moment and be in a situation where you are in trouble, where you might die. And I talk about this too. I said fear usually involves a fear of the future, a fear of specifically death. We are all so afraid of death because we have been conditioned through religion, through our upbringings, through culture that you're going to go to heaven or hell, another binary invented by man. Because who are we without being afraid of some like death world, some underworld that's going to torture us forever. Like that sounds so fucking made up. Like I can't even deal. Like some king or some fucking dude or whoever somewhere was like, if you don't obey my rules, you're going to hell. Right. And then you were controlled for centuries, millennia. It's a genius idea. Like it is the ultimate propaganda. The ultimate marketing tool is like, you know how we're going to control them? With stuff they're never going to experience, but it's the idea that they might experience that's going to keep them under our thumb. How stupid can we be? I love being humans and I love love and I love us for trying our best, but goddamn do we miss the mark sometimes. um I said in here fear usually involves a fear of the future, a fear of death, a fear of abuse or loss or suffering. When you know you are love personified and you know you will return to love when you leave this body, fear of death is off the table. This is the most liberating truth I've come to know. I'm not afraid to die anymore. Am I going to be seeking death out? No. No, both can be true at the same time. I said, no longer fearing death has given me the freedom in my spirit to go after my dreams, to travel, to take risks, to live my life full out because I have full trust. I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm getting closer and closer the more I flex my love muscle and leave my fear in the trash can. LOL, in parentheses. The opposite of love is not evil, it is fear. And then this takes me into lesson number 3. The third spiritual truth about love that's changed my life, that can maybe possibly change yours, is that love and light conquers all. Okay. I even said in here, I know this sounds cheesy, but it's true. It is the absolute truth. Love and light are synonymous, okay? Where there is love, there is light. Where there is light, there is love. I mean, think about it. Like when somebody brightens your day, what did they usually bring to the table? They brought love with them when they greeted you. They brought joy, right? Joy is also synonymous with love. When someone brightens your day, like when what else did I write in here? I said, and where there is where there is love and light, there is truth. The truth will set you free. What else sounds like being set free? Love. The light will brighten your darkest days. The love will heal you and bring you back to who and what you really are. It will warm your spirit and guide you home. Yeah, like every single metaphor we have in the English language or just in any language is like the light in the dark, the light that guides you home. Like, love conquers all. Love is love. These are all things that are embedded in our culture, embedded in our ancient knowledge that we just overlook, and we totally diminish the power that it has. Even in religions, like people say shit like this all the time, but then they turn around and deny the power that it has. They're like, God is love, and like love thy neighbor, and like they say this and they sing about it in church, but then they turn around and they don't actually believe it. They say I am made in God's image, and they turn around, they don't actually feel empowered as if they were God themselves. They're like, let go, let God. It's like, bitch, you are God. You are God. What do you mean let go and let God? You are God. Do something. I'm not saying don't tap into the tether. Be tethered. But I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. You have a strong Christ-like body, bro. What are you gonna do about it? I'm not even religious, but these are just some of the things that like were said to me in church that pissed me off when I would see people not embody them in real life. Like you missed the whole lesson. Like it's like that story where like the farmer or something, he's like drowning or something, and God sends a boat and God sends a helicopter and God sends this, and he was like, and the guy was like, I was waiting for Jesus. I don't know. I butchered that story, but like God, source creator, you had all these opportunities and you didn't even see them. Bro, you are the light. You are the love. Transcend your situation by using the power inside. Anyway, I digress. Love conquers all, right? Um, I said in the binary of Earth, right? Because Earth is all about binaries. In order to have a physical, dense reality, which is like a totally different topic, there are binaries. There is good and bad. There is, love and fear. There is light and dark. There is up and down. There is left and right. There are all these binaries that exist. There's all the ones and the zeros, right? Because that's how you create the matrix. That's how you create the physical reality around you. That's how you make things so dense, right? You decrease the entropy, if you will, which is a new word that I learned. They say I learned that recently that there is a belief or a philosophy that it's always increasing, which is like the chaos, which is like the infinite amount of like ways things can go. So in order to come to Earth, like entropy has to dramatically decrease so that we can touch things and we can think of time linearly, right? Because in the spirit world, that shit doesn't exist. There's a bajillion million infinite ways things could go. You could be 50 and then 4 and then walk through walls and shit, right? So I say in the binary of Earth world, what goes up must come down. Where there is good, there must be evil. Where there is light, there must be dark. But to that, I've come to realize that all there is light and love in the universal truth. Okay, the universal truth is what I'm speaking about. It's not until we create a block where there is a shadow cast, right? So something people always say, where there's light, there's dark. But what I've come to realize, if we are love personified, again, all of these beliefs kind of build on top of each other. If we are love personified, if we are love and light is all there is. It's not until we build a blockage that a shadow is cast. It's not until we have fear that a shadow is cast. It's not until we have pride that a shadow is cast. It's not until we have karma, right? Karmic debt, I think is a very real thing. Maybe you call it karma, maybe you don't, but I think when you do participate in the forgetting of love, you can do some really heinous things. That's going to cast a shadow. So it's not that the light itself can cast a shadow. No, it's not until there are objects in the way of the light that a shadow is cast, right? And that's all of our shit that we create here on Earth, in Earth world, in Earth school. That's why we have shadows here. That's why there's light and dark, because we came here to experience the binary, to experience the contrast, to experience what we are not, in order to remember what we are. I feel like I'm preaching a sermon to you guys. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? I'm crazy. Um, I said, it's not until we create a block that the shadow is cast. It's not until we create new karma or a new fear or choose to act out of a lack of love or until we forget who and what we are. That's when the shadow's cast. Those are the blockages in our hearts, minds, souls that create our shadows, our shadow selves. With that create our shame, that create our just all of our gobbledygook that we have to work through to unfold our perfection, to remember that we are love. When you are fearful, find the gratitude and the joy. When you forget what and who you are, do your best to remember. Even when you have nightmares or body aches or are having a disagreement or a misunderstanding with somebody, I guarantee you, if you bring love and light into that situation, the negativity will dissolve. The fear will dissolve, the disagreement will shift back into connection, and you will see, feel, and know you are living in alignment. That your body, environment, and relationships will reflect back to you the truth of who you are, which is love and light. It will be undeniable how your life changes when you implement this truth. And I say this like, even since I was a little kid, when I would have nightmares and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I would I remember repeating back to myself just the words rainbows, butterflies, leprechauns, rainbows, butterflies, leprechauns, rainbows, butterflies, leprechauns, because those were all joyful, like light and bright kind of things. And I don't know why leprechauns, maybe because like in my DNA I'm Irish, Scottish, or whatever. But like that's what I would repeat in a mantra to myself until I fell back asleep. And I am remembering that now, knowing that like I was adding love and light to that situation because all the fear exists here. The fear exists in our mind. Everything is a belief. If we believe something scary exists, then we are correct because that is a real experience we have in our mind. If we believe love and light exists, that is an experience that will be felt. It's a core belief. If you believe good things happen to you will be correct. If you believe bad things happen to you will be correct. But anything that feels scary, that feels stressful, that feels shameful, that feels icky, nasty, gross, if you, in your mind's eye, give it love and light, or you think to yourself, what's the most loving thing I can do right now? I swear to God, that shit will dissolve in a millisecond. That's how powerful you are. Because guess what? That is what you are. That is you being your most authentic self. It takes work to be nasty and ugly. It drains your body and your spirit and your mind. You know what doesn't drain you? Being loving, being joyful, connecting with people. That shit fuels you. That is what heals your physical body. And there's research to back this up. I'm not just coming at you with no facts, bro. I'm not going to sit here and give you the research papers because I'm claircognizant. I just be knowing shit, okay? So those are the three spiritual truths that I've come to know about love. That you are love personified, that the opposite of love is fear, And anytime you feel fearful, it's because there's a lack of love. And how do you combat that? With love and with light. And that's it. I'm sure there's more things I have inside of me that are going to come to light in the near future, but that's what I have for you for now. And I feel good about that. And I'm even noticing myself in this episode getting fired up, getting excited because sharing this information with you is spiritually charging me. Like, I'm sharing the love and light, and it's fueling me, and it's giving me the energy that I didn't have an hour ago. How crazy is that? It is an instantaneous experience. And you can sit here and be like, this is a bunch of hogwash. You're a witch, you know? And that's fine. I accept that. I am fully prepared to be perceived however the internet decides. Because I know what's true for me. I know who I am now. And that is like the coolest part. Like, I know I'm love and light. And like, yes, am I human? Will I make mistakes? Absolutely. But when I'm sharing things to be helpful, when I'm sharing love, when I'm sharing light, I can't be wrong. You can interpret it however you want, but I know that it's going to help you. Whether you literally receive the message or just being in the energy of me being what I really am, being a loving person, that's going to heal you somehow. And I can't explain it to you. I just know it to be true. And so, with that, thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope it resonated. And if it didn't, that's okay. Like, there is no judgment. Again, you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. Um, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I love you. I am so grateful to show up to this podcast, to show up to the Perfection Unfolding World, to continue being in process alongside you. I don't have all the answers, but I do be knowing stuff, and I encourage you to know the things that you know and share them with people, especially if it's loving, especially if it's helpful. Um, if you like this episode, comment below what your favorite part was. Comment below if you had any like brain explosions or if all this just sounded crazy. Let me know that too. If you want more of this, if you want me to expand upon any of these like truths, let me know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tune in a couple weeks, in 2 weeks. That's all I got. I love you. Okay, bye.